Milano Bolzano, the 42.5 kilometre stage of the Tour of Italy. The time trial underway. All the riders are out there on the road, and we're looking back here at some of the stars who may be challenging towards it. Gonzalez here, tremendous time trialist coming through. They're looking back at his performances in the past, now riding for the Fassa Bertolo team, and this is the man now coming through to finish today at the fastest time we've got so far on the map. Gonzalez Jimenez Aitor, the time of 54 minutes and 33 seconds, taking the lead at the moment. That's the situation though as we go into the race for that pink jersey. Simoni, he's on the road now, but he started this morning 1 minute 90 seconds down on Garzelli. And looking back over the statistics, certainly Garzelli's a faster time trial, Simoni, but can that gap be closed, or can he take the pink? This is Gonchar coming in to finish, and Gonchar again, a man expected to do well today as he comes down into the finishing line. Across the line, he's not going to take the lead. All hopes were that he might do well. In fact, Charlie Vaglas, who's been riding for his team, was shepherding his man through the whole thing, but Ian Gonchar wasn't going to make it. Crossing the line there, looking back at that, his time on the line, 55 minutes and 55 seconds, 1 minute 22 seconds below that of Gonzalez Jimenez, and Magnus Backstedt was wedged between the two of them. Magnus Backstedt, one of the people went off early this morning because of the gap between the way they do in reverse order of general classification. Magnus Backstedt just set the whole thing alight. He was up there for a long time, leading on the overall classification with a fantastic time of 55.24. Looking then at the leaders' standings, you can see that's going back. When we talk leaders, this isn't just the result of yesterday's stage overall. This is the situation of those top boys who could be there in Milan on a week from today. Garzelli 1:19 back, Rumsas, Casagrande, Pantani. They won't pull back that time if you're not familiar with cycle racing in the time trial today. There may be a few switching of places, but that gap to Garzelli and Simoni could be closed down or may even change, but the rest of them won't be in with a chance to take the pink jersey on the stage like it is today. One of those days then when the time trialists come out and enjoy themselves and look for a chance to get a bit. Down there, you see the bottom, by the way, Tonkov retired. The word round the race this morning was that, I said, well, Graham Jones, come on, Grant, do you know? He said, well, the word is that he just felt sick. He was out there, you may remember, in the stage yesterday. He was wedged between not only our lone leader on the road when Freddie Gonzalez went off, and then the chase group, and then he was there about a minute ahead of the main group, Tonkov. And he looked like he was going through a bad patch. Our cameras picked him up. He looked very sallow and very sick, but he'd gone off for some reason, and suddenly he went through a very, very bad patch, and with 6Ks to go from the finish yesterday on that final climb, he just climbed off. That was it, finished. So a past winner of the Tour of Italy was hit by the man with the hammer in no uncertain way. He got the bonk in a bad way. Bonk, by the way, you non-cyclists, is a term which we use for something which hits you when you're riding along your bike, uphill, down, down, doesn't matter where it is. Whap, you get hit and you lose all your strength in your legs. Enough of rubbish now. We're in 20 kilometres to go for Simoni, the last man on the road, going into the stage today, and I'll try and go back and pick up for you, if it doesn't come on our screen now, the time gaps at the different stages they've been through, because they've got time gaps in this race right the way through, 1, 2, 3 of those. And at the moment, Aitor Gonzalez has been the fastest man at the finish, not always the fastest at the time checks. Gosh, they throw these statistics at us, don't they, fast. This is Garzelli versus Simoni, looking back at, over the years, how they either lost or won. And in particular, that stage there in Sestriere, when Garzelli and Simoni had the battle, that was the day when Casagrande suddenly collapsed and had a tremendous problem and just blew out of sight. We didn't see much of him after that. But that was the day when Horoska won the stage. Garzelli was second at 1:17. Simoni was back in sixth spot at 2 minutes and 26 seconds. That was the most recent of the big time trials, although going back through to the prologue time trials, which can't be exactly compared with what we're seeing here in the start of the Tour of Italy in 2001. Verbrugge won that one. Simoni was just there at 33 seconds, and Garzelli at 36. So that was the small gap over a shorter distance. But on the form, and looking even further back than what you see here on the screen, in reality, I think that possibly, I think it's 6-4 to Garzelli, and we will then, as we go through these pages, running down the gap as to Simoni and Garzelli, in that one in Lugano, Trieste there, the 40 kilometres. Probably that's the nearest one that we've got. The one in Trieste, when the 40 kilometres is very similar to the distance they're going to do today. So it's going to be, I think, on paper, as we go through these figures, that Garzelli probably has that little edge on Simoni. That one in top of your page there. Zula won that day. Garzelli was 5 minutes back. Imagine that, 5 minutes back in a 40 kilometre time trial to Zula, and Simoni was at 7 minutes and 40. So whilst we're looking about the gap between the two of them, it just shows that they haven't always had their own way with other specialist time trialists. So what you're going to see today on your screens is a battle between those two riders, Garzelli and Simoni. And by the way, I will have no time to talk about the food and the wine. On the right hand side, the left hand side, this is a wonderful area for the wines, but I'm going to get my head down and try and give you all the statistics. You can just sit there, you get them on your pieces of paper. No food, no wine, facts, 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 and I hope those who want nothing but facts and no food, no wine will find today of great interest. My thanks then to Martin Haven, the handover from the motor racing, which you've just seen on our screen. And as we just settle down the back end of here and get into the swing of those final vital seconds, did you see earlier on? If you didn't, then wait for the action replay as we're looking back down here at Simoni on the right hand side and Garzelli on the left hand side. That fantastic Le Mans, the Grand Prix there at Le Mans on the motorcycles, and Seti Giboni from Spain, battling it out with Valentino Rosso. And if you can get a copy of that last lap, get it, look at it. And I know that here we are on two wheels now, powered by legs, compared with two wheels powered by motors. They had a raining problem, that's why we're running a bit late here. By the way, those who are watching our live coverage, it rained at Le Mans. They had to restart the race, and they only had 13 laps to do, and only 3 guys went out there really to race for the thing. And thank goodness that they don't have the old complicated thing where they made an aggregate of 2 races. They went straight, oh bang, that's it, start on the grid again, those who are in there, off you go. And it was the most exciting motorcycle. I got to watch this. I note the numbers down, I talk to people involved with the race, but I like to keep an eye on motorcycling, particularly since my good friend Toby Moody's doing the commentary on that one. So sorry I'm going a bit off on a different course, but really those motorcycles riders, they just need, the way they were flying off all over the place, absolutely fantastic. Belly coming through here, looks quite quick to finish inside, I think, the 1 minute barrier. He's going to just do that, or is he not? 59, 56, 57 coming up on your screens, and there he goes, and in fact he's just outside it. Not much time today, as I say, for food and wine, anything outside what we're looking at today, but for those British viewers who want to know what did the Brits do today, before we get down to this battle that's going on down there, before we go to commercial break, Julian Wynne finishing a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Charlie Vagelis, the Great Britain rider, finishing 1 hour, 3 minutes and 44 seconds. So they were a bit off the pace today. And the disappointment, I think, but in fact, speaking again to my colleagues out there, was the problem that beset Bradley Wiggins. We thought he might do it better than he was going to do, but he finished inside the hour. Bradley was at 59 minutes and 45, and he was saying at the finish that he was just a bit cooked. He's very tired indeed, and he's just, I think he's taken on too much. I'm going to look forward to speak to Richard Alchin, who keeps in touch with him as well, and I phone him up, I speak him up, you know, we do all the things to keep and exchange the views, but I'd love the comments from those involved in the sport as we go on towards the end. I think Charlie's gone into the sport this year at a higher level, and he's just really, I think, running out of steam. Anyway, Charlie finished, Bradley finished in 59.45, and
with City cycling shoes.
Stage 15, the time trial in the Tour of Italy. so much at stake, but the gaps perhaps are so great that maybe one or two might change a few plays. Popovic on your screen now this morning, coming into the Tour of Italy time trial stage. Back then, fourth spot. He was 4 minutes and 9 seconds down on the leader Simoni, who's just started off behind him this morning. And then behind him too is Noe, Garzelli and Simon on the road at the moment. As our cameras go back again, as quickly we pick up Popovic, our cameras go back and pick up the suffering of the riders today here. And as now Garzelli has to pull back that 1 minute and 19 seconds. On this little bit of climb, there's a nasty conk in the midst of it all. If you're just joining us on Eurosport to see the time trial on your screens today, the fastest time so far is that of Artur Gonzalez, 54 minutes and 33 seconds. Popovic here lying fourth. You can see it on your screen here. Well, if he can climb a little bit, he might sort of move over the top three. He's got to pull back on Andre Noe, the little gap of around about 30 seconds. And right now, I'm sorry I can't tell you the difference because the computer's gone on the blink. And to have the problems, I must shout to man to sort things out, but for some reason I can't get the intermittent times, which you've been seeing so far, which I've had, so I'll go and give this thing a sharp punch. Right, back with Popovic then. Let's see what's on the screen as he goes through 32.3 kilometres. He's not going to beat the fastest time so far, which is that of Artur Gonzalez, 54 minutes and 33 seconds. Pelazzotti coming through here, started this morning in 8th spot, 7 minutes and 18 seconds down on the general classification. Let's see if he can just move up a bit, because he was not far behind Toshnik, and he may be able to pull just a little bit back on that. But there we are, the top 10 riders coming in towards the finish as we've now gone through. Pelazzotti, Toshnik to come in just shortly after, then Casagrande, Rumsas, Popovic, Noe, Garzelli and Simon. Here he comes. So this morning Toshnik, can he move up a spot? 56.23 on the screen, 56.25. Another very good ride. That's a good ride then by him, 56.25 for Toshnik, holding on to that place at the moment. The long drag up this climb, and it's where there will be a few points in the Kingdom House competition, but there's no way that that is going to change as far as the green jersey is concerned. Finished a long time ago, Freddie Gonzalez. There are not enough points to lose out there, but I think somehow that the ride, as we're now watching towards the back end here, the battle between these two, that great ride by Magnus Backstedt, where he started this morning on the Intergelo competition, just at let's just check the facts for you at the moment. He was started this morning 26 seconds down on Di Biase, and everybody thought when he went off down the road, Magnus, that he was only going to bury himself for the first part of the race to get that Inter-Giro competition. And then as the times were coming in, we thought, oh my goodness, there's Magnus Backstedt at the first kilometre time check, 11 minutes and 17 seconds. In fact, he was faster at that point than Aitor Gonzalez, who's leading on the classification at the moment. He was 11.17, Aitor Gonzalez 11.30, who was again at that point just 3 seconds faster than Serdar Končar, a past world champion against, on time trialling. So Magnus pressed on with that one. The time check after 24 kilometres, he went through in 29.55 by then. Aitor Gonzalez, I'm looking now more at who's going to win the time trial today than the battle you're seeing here between these two riders. Aitor Gonzalez went through the second of the time checks at 29 minutes and 51 seconds, so he pulled 4 seconds back out of Magnus Backstedt. And then coming in towards the next time check, Magnus had been leading at 43 minutes and 46 seconds, and Aitor Gonzalez went through in 43.10, knocking then about 36 seconds out of Magnus, and he finished Aitor Gonzalez with the best time we've got at the moment, 54 minutes and 33 seconds for the 42 kilometre, 26.5 miles. So just think, you 25-mile riders back in Great Britain who love to go time trialling, this is like 1.5 miles further than you would normally ride, and Aitor Gonzalez's time is 54.33, and you're seeing now the climb here. Imagine that man going round at that speed over 26.5, and he pushed Magnus Backstedt into second spot, and Magnus then at 51 seconds in second spot, and the rest are here to come. Končar has finished, the man we thought might win the time trial today. He had to go up this drag you're seeing here on your screen, and Končar finished at 55.55, losing 1 minute and 22 seconds over Aitor Gonzalez. Gonzalez, we'll have to wait until we juggle all the overall classification figures at the end of this one, because Aitor Gonzalez not only now looks like he's going to win the time trial, but he's been moving up the general classification bit by bit. And Gonzalez this morning was in going down. In fact, yesterday he climbed well too. He was 11th yesterday at 1 minute and 50 seconds. So Gonzalez started way off the pace. He's now this morning in 19th spot, 17 minutes 12 seconds down. He's going to move forward to look like he could take a place in the top 10. But Gonzalez won the Tour of Spain last year in the final day, as Casagrande comes in here. Let's get Casagrande's time, because Casagrande this morning 5 minutes 33 seconds down on Simone and Garzelli. Quite a useful hitter, as the time on the screen not going to topple that of Aitor Gonzalez 54.33, but he goes across the line in 57.27. Back out with Simone on the road. Just trying to work out the importance of Casagrande's time at 57.27 and Toshnik at 56.25. So Toshnik in fact was something at least a minute faster than Casagrande, and he started this morning at 6 minutes and 45, so he's now 5. He's closed the gap. I don't think on general classification Toshnik will go over Casagrande, but he's closed the gap on him from the 7th spot. So the Austrian, by the way, we're going here through a part of the world as Garzelli comes through at this 32.23 and his time 45.19. We're in a part of the world which very much was part of the Austrian Empire over the years, and they, for many years, the people in this part of the world spoke. Here's another nutcase. Oh dear, they're enthusiastic, aren't they? Simone climbs up here. Actually, the stage today in Merano and then going to Bolzano, it was a German-speaking part of the world, because the Austrian Empire came down and took over all this area you're seeing now. The Italians slowly but surely over the years have reclaimed it, and Napoleonic Wars, I think, was still part of Austria, and they would be speaking German. Now they're speaking Italian. So the good performance by Gord Toshnik had lots of supporters round the road, and he will be happy, I think, to close the gap on Casagrande, but I'll wait for the official run down on the general classification at the end of the stage to see if he's moved over Casagrande. He certainly won't have climbed, I don't think, up to Raymond Rumsas, who was at 5 minutes and 8 seconds, and the next man to finish will be Rumsas. Here he comes in as Garzelli, 45.19. What we're going to get here, this is critical. This is 32 kilometres, only another 10 k's to go. The battle between these two, and it looks like Simone's got the edge at the moment. He comes through here, and the time clock stops at 44.44. All the fours knock on the big front door. It's 44, and he's now taking time out of Simone, out of Garzelli, sorry. This is the time when, on paper, Garzelli should have been the fellow to pull back that deficit, but Garzelli has lost a few seconds. I'll quickly calculate for you. If we watch Rumsas come in here, we'll pick up his time, because this is a danger man trying to move up into the top 3 place. He crosses the line in 57.16. Next to finish will be Popovic. We've got him on your screen, and between those two, Rumsas and Popovic, there was a good clear minute this morning. Popovic at 4 minutes and 9 seconds down on the general classification, Rumsas at 5 minutes and 8, so a good clear minute. Shouldn't change that much, but you never know, the gaps could change as the ghosts on the right in their pink gear start to encourage Simone. I'm not sure that he needs much encouragement. He's certainly right at this particular point. Let's work it out. 16, 26, 35 seconds ahead of Garzelli, increasing his lead this morning, which is 1 minute and 19 seconds. Simone going further and further, opening up that gap, and that seems to be a surprise to many of us, because on paper, over the years, going back the first time that they met in 1997, Simone, he did win that one. He was faster than Garzelli. It was over a distance of 18 kilometres in San Marino. On other occasions, Simone was faster. He was just about a minute and 13 seconds up on Garzelli, and that was the day when Tonkov won that time trial in 1997 at San Marino over 18 kilometres. Most of the ones that Simone and Garzelli have had the battles over, it just seemed that possibly Garzelli was faster on the shorter ones. On that occasion, though, when they first met head-to-head in 1997, Simone came through a clear 1 minute and 13 seconds ahead of Garzelli. He seems to be doing just that now as Popovic coming in. It's interesting to see if he can move one stage up into third spot. We're waiting for Noe to come next. And here he comes. Over the line, 56.09. That is a good time, and that could well move him up into third spot. With Andrea Noe next to come, there was only this morning 30 seconds between Noe and Popovic. Now, sorry I can't give the intermediate time check because my computer, I've just given it a sharp thump and it's gone black. So there's no way I can give the intermediate time checks, and if I did attempt to get the thing all fired back up again, I'd miss the drama which you're seeing on your screen of these riders battling for that pink jersey. Garzelli's doing all he can. He was some 2 minutes and 20 seconds ahead of Noe on this stage, but what he has to do is still stay in there, because we could see a repeat of this on 1 week from today in Milan, because as Simone here with the Hardy matching red hat from the Psycho team and the pink, but at least he's got black shorts on. It would be a bit horrendous when he had his red shorts on before that. The Italians wouldn't like that. We could be seeing an action replay of this in a week's time on the run in towards Milan for the time trial, because Garzelli, he's got to do something in the mountains yet to come, and after this time trial stage we've got a flattish day tomorrow for the sprinters, and the day after that, before we have 2 consecutive days of climbing at the back end of this race. Sean Kelly will be joining me for those 2 vital stages, 18 and 19, and then that final time trial. He'll still be with us when we go into the finish in Milan on the 21st stage at the end of this race. It could be then a replica of what we're seeing here, but can Garzelli close the gap in the mountains, or this man, is he riding in triumphantly? But do bear in mind, we've got a week to go, and over that period of time the tiredness can come in. One thing about cycle racing, these riders you're seeing here on your screens, if you've just been hanging over from the motor racing or the motorcycling, they've covered, as at today, just on 2 weeks of bicycle racing, They've been there in the saddle all the way through. They've been averaging now 38.6 kilometres per hour. That's just a stiff under 25 miles an hour. They've covered 2,540 kilometres. Again, that's about, let's see, 1,500 miles that they've covered. That's around about 100 miles a day at an average speed just under 25 miles an hour. If you look at the big mountains in the background, they've been uphill and down, and 5 kilometres are left for the man in the pink jersey who has the fastest time. We time the riders every day across the line. These two here on the time trial running through from the great cities of Merano to Bolzano. The time trial, 141 riders left in the race. So many climbed off yesterday. Didn't start, did Robin McEwen. He decided to go home, but we had riders outside the time limit, just couldn't make it because they were tired on that climb that we had. We had so many climbs yesterday. We finished at the top and outside the time limit. Graham Brown, the twice Commonwealth Games champion, was outside the time limit together with Damori and Ravioli, and no less than 13 riders yesterday were out of the race, either through the mountains or through outside the time limit, or just didn't start because what lay ahead. We're down now to 141 riders in the race. We started out there with 169 riders in the 19 teams, and the battle rages. Garzelli in the yellow on your screens now, and there the man in the pink jersey last on the row. But by the time checks coming in, he's not going to be last when we get to finish, but can he get the victory? This is the point. He would like, I'm sure, to knock hell out of this man Garzelli in front of him. They're very good, I won't say friends on the road, but certainly this is a man-to-man. This is what they call the race of truth then. So Garzelli on your screens, you just saw it flash up there, has won this Tour Italy in the past, has been a good time trialist too, but as we're looking at Andrea Noe coming in, he's been one of the surprises, I think, of the race this year. He's been always there and thereabouts, and he's to hang on there to third spot. He's got a useful and interesting team round about him, but none of us, I think, expect him to be up there in what we call a podium. But he's done a very good ride indeed, and he comes in here, we'll have to watch his time at 57.50 and work that out compared with the time of Popovic. Popovic then 56.09 as we go back to the next two riders to come across the line. 56.09, there's a gap of just on what, 1 minute and 41 seconds, 1:41, and coming into the stage this morning, the gap between them on the general classification was about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So on my quick back of the old envelope, or back of the fag packet, but I don't smoke, used to go with the old cigars and give them a puff some years ago, but it looks as if Popovic could now, when we wait the general classification to be put up on our board, could well have moved up into third spot. Andrea Noe just losing out a little bit there to Popovic, but a shuffling of the pack in the top 3 places. But the way that Garzelli is going, he's not, I think, going to beat the fastest time so far of Aito Gonzalez. In fact, he went way outside that. Aito Gonzalez time 54 minutes and 33 seconds. He's not going to get that, as he's going to be coming in, and after him will be Simoni, who at the intermediate time check we had so far been showing that Simoni is ahead. You'll see on your screen the dropping down times of the riders that are round about him on the general, on the finishing list today. Not a good time trial, and I think this is probably something that Garzelli will look back as being not one of his best days in the saddle as he comes through here, and interesting to watch that. He's certainly going to be, I think, going to lose probably at the thick end of a minute on Simoni, and he started this morning 1:19 down. Here he comes. But come the mountains, and we got some thumping great climbs, 2 of them towards the back end. He will be back with a bang. 56.52. Still, Aito Gonzalez, you probably hear in the background, our colleague there on the public address, beaming out to everybody concerned that 54.33 Artur Gonzalez. Just imagine that Artur Gonzalez has gone round this course 2 minutes and 20 seconds faster than Garzelli. And I'll try and work out the significance of that, because Artur Gonzalez is quite a bit down on general classification coming into the stage today. He had a bit of a rough patch. He never got the swing of the race earlier on, but he's beginning to climb up. And Artur Gonzalez will now, I think, begin to cause a few problems. He started this morning 17 minutes down on general classification. He just grabbed back, say, a couple of minutes. In fact, yeah, let's say a couple of minutes. So here we start moving up forward and overtaking a number of other riders. We might find Artur Gonzalez, who's 19th this morning, getting close to a place in the top 10. If he just keeps this up and comes through the mountains in good form and does have a good go at the time trial at the end, the winner of the Tour of Spain last year could find himself in the top 10 places. But this man could be still in pink after the end of the stage today, as the time I've got Sully 56.52. You can see it come up on your screen. Once he goes past that time, he's home and dry, and it looks as if he's going to do it. 56.52 for Gonzalez. He has to just go past that one. As now coming down here, you can see the clock going 55, 34, 5, 6, 7. He's coming to the 56. He's not going to be beaten by Gonzalez, surely, or is he? He's got to go, sorry, by Garzelli at the end of it. He's really rocketing down in this last final kilometre, and he's coming towards the finish at 56.52 with the time of Garzelli, and he comes here towards the finishing line at 55.53. He certainly could just get inside the time of Garzelli. He seems to have gone a bit off the ball towards the end, 56.02. He's going to certainly be faster than Garzelli, who's 56.52, and is coming towards the line, and Simone crosses it in 56.13. Wow, that was close in the end. Some 40 seconds faster, but there you have the result of the day. I was telling you earlier on how good Backstead was in the early part, and how Gonzalez and Honchar. Gonzalez first pushed Backstead down. Honchar tried to do it. That's the result of the stage, but the result of the pink jersey, there's no doubt that this man still keeps it, and he's slicked back a few more seconds, something like about 39 seconds on Garzelli. The overall standings will be coming up in just a moment. The computer's doing a wonderful job, even though I can't make the damn things work. Here we go. That's it. The gap has opened up then between Simone to 158. Popovic, as I thought, has now climbed over Noe. So there Popovic is into third spot. Noe dropping back into fourth. Honchar up there in eighth spot. Good time trial for him today. Unfortunately then, as far as the Brits are concerned, Bradley Wiggins didn't quite fire on all cylinders, and if you missed the early part of our programme, Julian Wynn's time was 1 hour 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Charlie Vegas 1 hour 3 minutes and 44, and Bradley Wiggins 59 minutes and 45 seconds. Tomorrow we're going on to on an undulating stage up on our screen, stage 16. Into Pavia will be on your screens at 15:30 CET. Knock an hour off that. I'll be with you then. Bye bye.